My name's Sal, and I spend way too much time thinking about emergency money and spending strategies. If you're someone who constantly worries that one wrong purchase could ruin your month, or worse, leave you scrambling when life hits unexpectedly, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because we're about to break down the emergency hierarchy, the smartest order to spend your last $1,000 so you don't just survive, you thrive.
Look, here's the truth. $1,000 might feel like nothing, but according to Bankrate's 2025 survey, almost 60% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing money. So that $1,000, it's literally life or death money for most people. Now, you might be thinking, Sal, I get it, but it's just $1,000. I'll figure it out when something happens. That's exactly the problem. Most people don't have a plan, and the psychology of scarcity kicks in hard. Scarcity makes you impulsive. Scarcity makes you prioritize fear over strategy. Scarcity convinces you that any urgent expense is more important than what really matters. Here's the twist. Money is a psychological amplifier. How you spend your last $1,000 says a lot about your long-term habits. If you spend it wrong, stress compounds. If you spend it right, it multiplies peace of mind, control, and yes, actual financial growth. All right, step 1, food and shelter, always. I can't tell you how many people skip meals, eat cheap junk, or delay rent because they think, I'll figure it out later. Rent? $600 to $800 per month average, depending on your city. Groceries, $150 to $250 per month. Here's the math. If you have $1,000, you can cover at least one full month of housing and food. That's your baseline. Everything else is secondary. Here's what most people don't realize. They'll pay for a new gadget, a night out, or just a small thing before ensuring their basic survival needs are met. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Step 2, safety and transportation. Look, let's say your car breaks down or your bike fails. You need reliable transportation for work or emergencies. Car repairs can cost anywhere from $200 for minor fixes to $1,000 plus for serious issues. Public transit passes are $50 to $150 depending on your city. Here's what I recommend. Spend enough to ensure mobility, even if that means postponing a non-essential purchase. You're avoiding weeks of lost income or missed opportunities. Step 3, minimum debt obligations. This one frustrates me. People ignore small debts thinking they're manageable. Minimum credit card payments average $30 to $50 for small balances. Loan minimums might be $100 to $200. Fail to pay them? Late fees, higher interest, and long-term damage to your credit score. And yes, that actually makes future emergencies more expensive. So your $1,000 should always cover minimum obligations after survival essentials. Step 4, short-term emergency buffer. Here's where it gets really interesting. Even if you cover food, shelter, and transportation, life throws curveballs. $1,000 is enough to create a mini emergency buffer of $100 to $200 for surprise cost, unexpected medical expenses, pet emergencies, car tickets, or fines. Here's the psychology. When you know you have a small buffer, stress drops immediately. Your decisions improve. You stop making panic purchases. You stop mental spending on frivolous things just to feel control. Step 5, invest or save the remainder strategically. Now, you might be thinking, Sal, we're talking about the last $1,000. Investing? Yes, even $100 invested in a low-cost index fund at 8% annual return grows to $215 in 10 years. $200 to $300 could pay off as much as $600 to $700 with compound interest in 15 years. This is where behavior beats math. You're training yourself to make the money work for you, even in tiny increments. Here's what most people don't realize. Money isn't just math. It's emotion. It's habit. And your last $1,000 is where psychological forces are amplified. Scarcity mindset makes you focus on immediate survival, sometimes at the cost of long-term gain. Loss aversion. You'll overpay to prevent a loss while ignoring smarter alternatives. Instant gratification. tempts you to spend impulsively because $20 now feels safer than $100 later. So by following the hierarchy, you're not just allocating money, you're training your brain to make rational decisions under pressure. Think of it like this. Your $1,000 is a tiny army. Food, shelter, and safety are the infantry. Debt and buffer are the archers protecting the perimeter. And the investment portion, that's your elite unit, quietly growing stronger while the chaos rages around it. Let me walk you through an example. Sal had exactly $1,000 in her checking account last year. She didn't panic. She followed the hierarchy. $500 to rent, $150 to groceries, $150 to car repair, $100 to debt minimums, $100 to mini emergency buffer. That left $0 fun money. But here's what happened. No late fees, no stress, no skipped meals. When her friend asked to borrow money, she politely said no.
No.
By month's end, she had a surplus because she didn't waste it on impulsive purchases. And the best part? She learned the psychology of discipline under scarcity, which made her next $1,000 way easier to manage. Here's what you can do today. List all essential expenses, rent, food, transport, minimum debt. Allocate the $1,000 in order of the hierarchy, essentials to safety, to debt, to buffer, to micro-invest. Track your spending for a week, see where leaks happen. Adjust your buffer monthly. Even $50 to $100 builds peace of mind. Practice delayed gratification. Wait 24 to 48 hours before any non-essential purchase. Here's the thing. Most people waste their last $1,000 because they ignore order in psychology. You're not just spending money, you're shaping your future self. By following this emergency hierarchy, you're buying more than groceries or rent. You're buying calm, control, and confidence. And that is priceless. So, if this video helped you feel like your last $1,000 isn't a ticking time bomb anymore, hit the subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up. Start small. Start deliberate. Start smart. Your future self will thank you.